Students, in Lesson 9.7, we are going to be graphing and analyzing relationships. Our essential question for this lesson is, how can you write and graph ordered pairs on a coordinate grid using two numerical patterns? So we're going to start with the Unlock the Problem Real World. Sasha is making hot cocoa for a party. For each mug of cocoa, he uses 3 tablespoons of cocoa mix and 6 fluid ounces of hot water. If Sasha uses an entire 18 tablespoon container of cocoa mix, how many fluid ounces of water will he use? So what we're going to do today, boys and girls, is we're going to put in what we worked on with graphing ordered pairs, analyzing numerical patterns, and we're going to look at that relationship and how it looks when we graph it on the coordinate plane. So we're going to do it in we're going to start here first in the purple box and answer these questions on the side. It says, how many tablespoons of cocoa mix does Sasha add for each mug of cocoa? Well, we know that they said that he adds 3 tablespoons. Next question, how many fluid ounces of water does Sasha add for each mug of cocoa? We know that was 6 fluid ounces. So these are going to be key to starting our relationship, which we're going to represent in our function table. Step 1. It says, use 2 given rules in the problem to generate the first 4 terms of the number of tablespoons of cocoa mix and the number of fluid ounces of water. So we're going to start with cocoa mix. We know that each time he's going to add 3. So 3 plus 3 would be 6. 6 plus 3 would be 9. 9 plus 3 would be 12. 12 plus 3 would be 18. Now we know each time he adds another tablespoon of cocoa mix, he's going to add an additional 6 ounces of water, because each cup will use 6 ounces of water. So 6 ounces of water plus 6 would be 12. 12 plus 6 would be 18. 18 plus 6 would be 24. And 24. So what we're going to do is we're going to analyze our relationships. We're going to say to ourselves, well, 3 times what number is 6? Well, we know 3 times 2 is 6. 6 times 2 is 12. 9 times 2 is 18. 12 times 2 is 24. And 18 times 2 is 36. So we know that's our last initial. Now we know when we analyze a relationship, the rule is to multiply by 2. So now step 2, it says write the number of ordered pairs as relating the number of tablespoons of cocoa mix to the number of fluid ounces of water. So what we're going to do is our first ordered pair is 3, 6. Our next ordered pair would be 6, 12. Our next ordered pair would be 9, 18. Our next ordered pair would be 12, 24. Now it says graph and label the ordered pairs. Then write a rule to describe how the number of pairs are related. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to graph my ordered pairs. So we're going to go 3 up to 6. Your graphs might look a little bit better, boys and girls. Mine are a little sloppy just because my finger is not the best tool when I'm doing this. And then I'm going to go up to the next one. We're going to go up to my next ordered pair. I'm going to do 6, 12. I'm going to do my next ordered pair at 9, 18. And my next ordered pair is going to be at 12, 24. And my last ordered pair, which is 18, 36. It's going to be right up there. 18, 36. And what we can see, boys and girls, is that this is a linear relationship. So we see that our points create a line. So now it says, what rule can you use to write that relates the amount of cocoa mix? Well, we know what we're doing is we're multiplying the number of tablespoons by 2. So Sasha will use 36 fluid ounces of water if he uses the entire container of cocoa mix. Now, boys and girls, we're going to go on to the next the next question, which is, write the final number of pairs as an ordered pair. So our final number was 18, 36. It says, then graph and label it. Now, if we go back, we started at our origin, we went over to 18, started origin 0, 0, we went to 18, went all the way up to 36. So it says, connect the points in a straight line segment, which we did that. It says, what did the connected points form? A line. So what we would say, the connected points form a line. And what we could say is the y coordinates is always 2 times as great as the x coordinate. So the points will always increase by the same amount. So now we're going to go on to the next example. Students, in the second example, we are going to, again, figure out our relationship between the x and the y coordinates, and then we're going to write those ordered pairs out, we're going to graph them, and then we're going to analyze the relationship and see if it creates a line and see if they're increasing in incremental values. So John is customizing an auto system. He needs to buy 3.5 feet of cable wire, but it's sold in inches. He knows that there are 12 inches in a foot. How many inches of wire will he need? So what we see here is for 1 foot, there's 12 inches. So the rule says multiply the number of feet by 12, because we know that's our conversion factor. So 2 times 12 is 24. 3 times 12 is 36. And 4 times 12 is 48. Step 1. Write the number of ordered pairs relating the number of feet to the number of inches. So because it says feet to inches, we're going to write down the feet first, and then we're going to write the inches. So we have 1, 12, 2, 24. We have 3, 36. And lastly, we have 4, 48. Now we're going to go on and we're going to graph the ordered pairs and connect the points from the origin with straight line segments. So we're going to start from the origin, and we're going to start and graph our first ordered pair, which is 1, 12. And we're going to make sure that we label that as well as while we're putting these up here. So 1, 12 is our first ordered pair. Our next ordered pair is 2, 24. Our next ordered pair is going to be 3, 36. And our last ordered pair is going to be 4, 48. So now what we're going to do is we are going to connect straight line segments from the origin, which was at 0, 0, to form a line. Now it says in step 3, use the graph to find out the number of inches in 3.5 feet. Think, 3.5 feet is between what whole numbers? Let's look over here. If we look here on the bottom, we see it's between 3 and 4. So, and I'm going to actually circle that in red just so that pops up to us. 3.5 feet is between 3 and 4, and we located 3.5 on the x-axis, which I circled in red there. Now, step 4, we draw our vertical line from 3.5 on the x-axis to the point that connects the ordered pairs, then graph that point. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to 3.5, and we're going to take that, and we're going to take that all the way up to 42. So 3.5, we took out, we get 42. So 3.5, comma, 42 is our ordered pair there. It says to find how many inches equals 3.5 feet, draw a horizontal line from that point to the left of the y-axis. So we're going to draw a horizontal line, and when we analyze that relationship, we look there to see that the ordered pair is 3.5, comma, 42. So John needs to buy 42 inches of cable wire. And because we knew what he needed for 3 and what he needed for 4, we were able to deduce that for 3.5 he would need 42 inches. So remember, boys and girls, for this lesson, we're putting together ordered pairs, graphing ordered pairs, connecting the line segments of our graphed points, and we're analyzing the relationship to see what it is increasing by. So it depends on the order of pairs, but what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to analyze your x and your y, and you're going to make sure that the rule is increasing each time. And like, say if you wanted to figure out the pencil and paper math, what you can do is you can say, well, 3.5 times 12. Does 3.5 times 12 give you 42? This would be a way to check your answer to make sure that it was correct, but you will in fact get 42, because we know that the rule is to take your x-axis or your x-coordinate and multiply by 12 to come up with your y-coordinate to analyze that relationship.